Okay. Warning, this might be a long one. Um, I can't, Cray answering questions. I can't stop comparing myself to others. I always come out on the crap end of things. What can I do? Um, brilliant, brilliant presentation of a pattern, a meaning making, a way that the box of self has things show up that aren't good. I can't stop. And to me, that implies that there's a pattern. This is an ongoing thing, and they may or may not be a choice about it. But this is something that this person has noticed in their life, that they are always comparing themselves to others. And they always come out on the crap end of things. Vaguely English. Anyhow, and so not only is the pattern comparing yourself, but the pattern is also coming out on the crap end of sticks. Because theoretically, I don't care what your life is like, there is somebody out there that you can compare yourself to where you are not on the crap end of the stick. So not only is this person stuck in comparison, the pattern also has him compare himself to people where he's going to come out on the crap end of the stick. So it's not about just saying, oh, stop, I'm never going to do this again, cut my tongue out if I ever do it again. The point of investigation is, why is your box doing that? Not like, you know why, so you can feel like crap. But once you funnel it down and get some nuances going in there, you can understand about why this is happening more or less. And then you start building another box of self edge or another lens. And it's going to be hard. If this is happening all the time, that's a deep pattern. A deep pattern meant to reinforce a certain experience, a certain way of being, a certain feelings even. And it's a deep pattern. And so you're going to try to build a lens through which you can look out at the world and do something different. It may be as simple, and believe me, going into a big, hot, heavy chain and just trying to samurai chop it in half rarely works. Rarely works. What you want to do is that you want to have the experience of going up against this chain and getting small wins. So you may, if it's always that you come out on the crap end of things, then for me, the first thing is like, okay, every day you're going to go out and you're going to find 10 people to compare yourself with that you are fairly certain, given what you're comparing, that you're not going to come out on the crap end of things. We're just going to build an experience for you so that you can have a felt experience in your body of comparing yourself to other people, something that we all do almost all the time, and coming out on the non-crap end of things. Just so you can demonstrate to yourself and to your history and to your box of self that you can hold the container for this. All right? That's step number one. After you've done that for like a week, maybe, you could up it to like 20 or 30 a day. You could sit on a bench in a park and probably knock off 100 in under 2 hours. So you're just sitting there doing these reps, building this muscle. And so then so that takes care of the crap end of things. Okay, so you've shaken up that belief. It's no longer this big, heavy, one-way only chain value. So now then you're going to go up. Then you're going to start dealing with this comparing things. This one's more difficult, I think, personally, because you're always comparing yourself. You're always looking out there and saying, "Oh, what is that?" And granted, there are some people who are deep into meditation or maybe on the spectrum someplace or something, to where they don't do that. But most everybody is looking around and comparing. And so then it's like, okay, how am I going to deal with this? Can I make this a lighter load? Can I change what comparing is for my box of self? Can I come up with a new way of comparing myself, or what the results will be? Because this is a pattern. It's not going anywhere. You will always, granted a stroke or something, but because you've been doing this for a long time, because it's a heavily entrenched pattern, you're always going to be doing it. The question is can you lighten it up a bit so maybe you don't notice it as much? And how do you put other things into play such that they become louder? You may compare, if you're comparing and you come out of crap, for me, there's a tonality in there. There's an emotional tonality, and there's a judgment about self. That you go looking for the people who make you look like you're the crap end of the stick. So maybe it's going and finding the comparison and finding some other way of relating, that it's not about being either the crap end of the stick or the not crap end of the stick, that it's about comparing yourself to others and finding the basic humanity underneath and putting more attention on that basic humanity underneath than the crap, non-crap end of the stick. So again, brilliant expression of a pattern that's in place, a pattern that has been around for what sounds like a long time, keeps on giving you stuff that you don't want, but that's part of the pattern. The pattern is to compare yourself such that you feel like crap. There's something very important in your makeup why this is happening. And so if you go out there and start messing, start messing with the big chains, start rattling them, and basically shit's going to come up. You rattle big chains and shit will come up, guaranteed. So part of your building in an exercise, part of your dancing with it is shit's going to come up. How do I identify what shit is? 2, how do I deal with that? I don't particularly care for people throwing themselves in front of buses or throwing themselves off of cliffs or blowing up their lives or anything. That to me is juvenile. There's no, any fool can die for a cause. It doesn't take a whole lot of anything to die for a cause. I am not about you dying for the cause of self-liberation or however it is you do it. I want you to have the life you want. I don't want you to take some dramatic action just because your box of self is freaked out and just trying to get you back into the safe, predictable place, no matter how bad it feels. So if a person is having a pattern that continues to have bad stuff come up, to me, that's something to give a little bit more attention to, a little bit more care, a little bit like things could go south in a hurry here. Because if things start showing up good, that's going to be in direct opposition to the way that the box is setting things up. And that can create quite a bit of dramatic flare-up. So, you know who you are, the one that asked this. If this answered it, fine. If not, send in another question, narrow it down, put a little bit more nuance on it. Point me at the place where it wasn't answered, because I don't know where you're coming from. I got 3 sentences and I'm dancing with those as best as I can. Damn, this is a lot of fun. Answering questions is a lot of fun for me. Okay, so that is it for today. And unless I go to my inbox and there's a whole bunch more, that's it for this weekend. Enjoy these or not, or use them or don't use them. Luckily, you can't line your cat box with these. Okay, toodaloo.